if you have children that are interested in tennis, or you think that tennis is a great sport that your child would play, my advice is to get them started with group lessons or any group environment where they see other players, other children their age, competing, playing, learning, and enjoying tennis. So it's very important that you do not start your children's lessons with privates. Okay, so in general, when parents come to me, sometimes I have wealthy parents who want me to teach their children every day, and I always tell them, do not bring them to me every day for private lessons. Just take them to a club or somewhere where they can take part in group lessons for like at least 2 times a week, and bring them to me once or twice just to correct their technique and just fix certain errors. So as a tennis coach, I do not recommend that players should start with private lessons. They should combine, for every private lesson, they should have at least 2 group lessons. So I think it's very important, based on my experience, to start just playing tennis as a team, or not necessarily as a team, as a group, because kids are important to see other children of their age competing and enjoying tennis. And then once they compete, or once they play with others, they can go to the coach and say, hey, look, I actually have a hard time with my forehand top spin, or I have a hard time hitting the serve in with slice, or whatever, or maybe just consistency is a problem, and that's where the coach can help. But again, I emphasize that it's beneficial for the children to start tennis in a group environment, and just go once in a while to the coach to correct or improve certain aspects. All right, so that's basically how we started tennis. We did not learn technique. To be honest, I learned tennis based on feel. Okay, so this is another subject that I wanted to discuss with tennis parents and coaches. Even right now, as a tennis coach after 20 plus years, I like to introduce games as soon as possible, and the rallies. Okay, so for example, my first 2 lessons, I start to introduce the games, the game concept, or game-based learning, even from the first lesson. I think it's very important that our children are not focusing too much on the technique. Obviously, technique is important, but technique is not everything. So that's why even from the first lesson, I introduce at least one fun game that the child can go and play with their friends or family. So I think that in general, tennis, obviously, it's important to teach our children the technique first, but try to do it in a way that is fun, and try to introduce games that pretty much solidifies that technique. In general, I have this methodology when I teach somebody. I always teach them technique first, and second one is consistency. So after technique, we focus on consistency. After consistency comes placement, the ability to hit the ball side to side, deep or short. And then it comes, the fourth one would be spin. And then ultimately, as the player develops, is going to be power. So it's very, very important to follow those 5 steps: technique, consistency, placement, spin, and power. Okay. In my case, I learned a lot just based on feel, just hitting with my friends.